Imagine a world not so long ago where life moved at the pace of a horse-drawn carriage, where the rhythm of the seasons dictated the lives of nearly everyone, and where the glow of a blacksmith's forge was the most intense light many would ever see outside of the sun. Then imagine a seismic shift and earthquake of innovation that rattled the very foundations of human existence, transforming agrarian fields into urban sprawls, artisanal workshops into thundering factories, and the quiet hum of village life into the ceaseless roar of industry. This, my friends, was the Industrial Revolution, a period of unparalleled upheaval and astonishing progress, a crucible where the modern world was forged in fire and steam. It was a time of dazzling ingenuity and profound suffering, of unprecedented wealth and unimaginable squalor. Did this monumental leap forward, this relentless march of progress, redeem the human price it exacted? Let us journey back to the very dawn of a new world, to understand the forces that shaped it, the figures who defined it, and the enduring legacy that continues to resonate in every aspect of our lives today. Before the revolution, the vast majority of humanity lived a life inextricably tied to the land. The year is roughly 1750. In the verdant valleys and rolling hills of Britain, as in much of the world, life was predominantly agrarian. Villages were small, tight-knit communities where generations followed in the footsteps of their ancestors, tilling the soil, tending livestock, and crafting goods by hand. The cycle of planting and harvest dictated the rhythm of existence. Families rose with the sun and labored until dusk, their efforts directly tied to the sustenance they could draw from the earth. Food was grown locally, clothes were spun and woven in cottages, and tools were fashioned by village artisans. Travel was slow, often arduous, limiting most people's horizons to their immediate surroundings. News spread by word of mouth, and communication across distances was a matter of days, even weeks. Yet, even in this seemingly timeless world, the seeds of change were being sown. For centuries, small-scale mechanization had existed. Watermills ground grain, windmills pumped water, and ingenious clockwork mechanisms measured time. But these were isolated innovations, powered by natural forces or human and animal muscle, limited in their scope and impact. What made Britain fertile ground for a more profound transformation? Several factors converged. Firstly, Britain possessed abundant natural resources. Vast reserves of coal and iron ore lay beneath its soil, vital ingredients for the coming age of steam and steel. Its island geography and extensive coastline fostered maritime trade, providing access to raw materials from its burgeoning colonial empire, cotton from India and the Americas being particularly crucial, and creating markets for manufactured goods. A sophisticated network of rivers and canals, though modest by later standards, already facilitated the movement of goods and resources internally. Secondly, Britain enjoyed a relatively stable political environment. Unlike many of its European counterparts, it had avoided major internal conflicts for decades, allowing for economic development and the accumulation of capital. A robust legal system protected property rights and encouraged innovation, while a burgeoning mercantile class, eager for profit, was willing to invest in new ventures. The enclosure movement, while causing significant social upheaval by pushing rural populations off communal lands, paradoxically created a mobile workforce, a ready supply of labor for the factories that were soon to rise. Thirdly, a culture of scientific inquiry and practical invention flourished. The Enlightenment had fostered a spirit of empirical observation and a belief in human progress. Societies like the Lunar Society of Birmingham brought together industrialists, scientists, and engineers, fostering a cross-pollination of ideas that would prove instrumental. Men like Abraham Darby had already revolutionized iron production in the early 18th century, pioneering the use of coke instead of charcoal, leading to stronger, cheaper iron, a fundamental material for the machines of the future. The textile industry in particular was ripe for innovation. The demand for cloth, both at home and abroad, far outstripped the capacity of traditional hand spinning and weaving. This bottleneck created a powerful incentive for inventors to find faster, more efficient ways to produce yarn and fabric. This was the simmering cauldron of ingenuity and opportunity that was about to boil over, forever altering the course of human history. The true spark, the ignition point of this revolution, lay in the ingenious minds that tackled the challenges of the age. The very heart of the Industrial Revolution pulsed with steam. For centuries, humanity had harnessed the power of fire to create heat, but to convert that heat into mechanical motion, into work, was the ultimate prize. Early attempts, like Thomas Newcomen's atmospheric engine from the early 1700s, were inefficient, prodigious consumers of coal, primarily used for pumping water out of mines. But then came the visionary, James Watt. A Scottish instrument maker, Watt recognized the flaws in Newcomen's design. He saw the immense waste of energy in repeatedly heating and cooling the same cylinder. In 1765, a moment of profound insight struck him: a separate condenser. This seemingly simple innovation dramatically improved efficiency, reducing fuel consumption by up to 75%. Watt's improved steam engine was no longer just a pump. It was a versatile power source, capable of driving a multitude of machines. And there you have it, a whirlwind tour of the Industrial Revolution, from the first steam engines to the factories that reshaped our world. Of course, this was just a quick look into a period that completely changed human history. There are so many more stories, inventions, and fascinating people to discover from this era. If you enjoyed this brief dive into the past and want to learn more about the pivotal moments that have shaped our present, then you're in the right place. Make sure to hit that like button if you found this video interesting. It really helps the channel out. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing and turning on notifications. We have a lot more historical journeys planned that you won't want to miss. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.